Hello, everyone. Todd Smetala here. We're going to talk about some interesting things that happen with reserve bidding with the very end of the month. Now, one of the first ones is related to the number of days on in a row that you can bid. We've already mentioned in general you need to have at least 2 days off, up to 8 days off at any point. And for days on, you generally need to have at least 3 days on and no more than 6 days on. So at the end of the month, there is an exception here. You are able to have just 2 days on in a row or even just a single day on. So this would be a legal pattern, and even this would be a legal pattern. And the logic behind it depends on what is going to happen in the next month. If you are going from a reserve month into another reserve month, we've already mentioned that for PBS bidding, it's going to always look at your last 6 days of what's going on here. So for your next reserve month, if this is your pattern currently, you're going to have to be on duty on the first and the second. So your first day off for that month would be possibly the third. Now, if you're going from a reserve month into a line holder month, doesn't matter. You could have a day off here or you could have a sequence, no problem. Now, these last few days at the end of the month also affect your flex day golden day pattern options. So in order to illustrate that, let me get rid of these guys first of all. And I'm going to come up with just a general bidding goal. Okay, let's say I need to have this weekend off. I've got a wedding going on here, and I need to have this day off for a doctor's appointment. You'll notice again, I'm in layer 7. I'm going to build out a legal pattern here based on this. So one option is that people often want to do is that they're trying to have the last few days of the month off. So let's put that in there and just see if we can build a legal pattern that's going to include these as well as these days up there. One caveat I'll say, it is generally difficult to have both the last 2 days of the month off as well as the first 2 days of the month. You'll notice that the patterns, it's not impossible, but the patterns are much more limited. So if one or the other is important to you, focus on one, but it is really difficult to get both of them. So let's continue from here. What happens with the flex day golden day pattern is these last 2 days, they cannot be considered a flex day because if you're worked into one of these, there's no place for the company to give you back a day. So if you have a string of days off here at the very end, if you're trying to get this pattern going like right here, it's going to be very, very difficult because you don't have any place to put any of these for flex days. You'd have to have all of your flex days up here somewhere. So let's keep it simple. Since it's not something that's very important to me in this month, I'm focused mostly on the 14th and 15th and the 6th up here, but I would like to see if there's a nice possibility that would also give me these days off. So I'm going to put those there. What I'm going to do in this case is count back 6 days on duty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'm going to put my 2 days off right here. The reason I'm doing that is if I'm working 6 days in a row, there's no way they could give me a flex day here anyway. So I want to burn up as many days on duty to give me more options up here. That'll become a little more clear as I continue here. So from this string of days off, I'm going to go back 4 days. 1, 2, 3, 4 days on duty, and I'm going to put a day off right here. So right here, I'm working 4 days. That means that the 22nd could possibly be a flex day as well as the 23rd. This is something very interesting with PBS. It is looking at a 6-day stretch of days to see if they could possibly give you a flex day there. It's not taking into account what's happening after that. Now, the Flex Day Golden Day app is a little more restrictive. That is always going to make sure that you have a golden day at the very end of it. But back here in PBS, we could possibly have these two counting as our flex days. We've got 2 of them out of the way. We need to get 2 more somehow. All right, continuing on. If we count back here, of course, we can't have this as a legal pattern. This would also have to be a day off, right? There's no way to have a single day on duty. And then from up here, I'm going to count back. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 days again, and try to do this as a day off. That way, this could be a flex day, and this could also be a flex day. So again, now I have 2 days on. That's not going to work. Let me put these in here. See how this will work. Okay, we have 12 days off now. This could be a possible legal pattern. These two could be flex days. And these two could be flex days. We've given it a ton of options to have the flex days. So now at least we've got that part covered. The rest of it is a legal pattern. Great. So now we would just want to split this up. And again, because my most important days are the 6th and the 14th, I want to show you a little bit more about that, the 14th and the 15th, right? Let's say that this weekend was the more important for me. So I would start up here in layer 1 and I would bid the 14th off. That's the actual day of the wedding. The 15th, I just don't want to be hungover and have to go home early, that type of a thing. So I need this one day off. If I put both of them on here, if it can give me both of them, it will. But it's also, because everything in one layer is equal, it's also saying I'm okay with the 14th or the 15th. And I really am not. So I'm going to just put a single day off here in that very first layer. When something extremely important to you, you really would want to bid just a single day off in that first layer. Now in the second layer, I would put the 15th in just to make sure, because it is cumulative. If I've got the 14th, I have to have the 13th or the 15th. I'm just saying, if you have the option to give me the 15th, let's do that and we're good. All right. And then the next layer, I would put in the 6th. But I want to show you another little trick here. If we look down here on layer 7, I'm trying to bid the 14th and the 15th off. Of course, those are my most important ones. And then I'm also looking to get the 16th and 17th off. So one option that I could do in layer 2 is, rather than bid the 15th, try to force all 4 of these if they were important to me, I could go ahead and bid the 16th instead of the 15th. Now, the reason being, if I already have the 14th off from layer 1 and I have the 16th off here, I automatically have the 15th off without even bidding for it. So it's just a way to be a little more economical and strategic in the way that you're bidding your days off going through the layers. All right, so we have our first 3 layers done, and we've got the important days off that we wanted. We put the bids in for those. So now it's really just a matter of looking again at our layer 7 and continuing on through the other layers. Through layers 4, 5, and 6, we just start splitting up these other days off. We could add the 23rd maybe in 4, maybe the 22nd and the 23rd. We're not super tied into one or the other of those. Whatever kind of works would be fine. Add a few more in 5, a few more in 6, and then by layer 7 we'd want to have all of these bid in there, and that's fine.